The rain on Viridian Prime didn't fall like water. It shimmered, a silver mist of charged particles drifting slowly from a violet sky. When it touched skin, it tingled like static. When it touched metal, it hummed softly, like a distant choir. I had lived on Viridian Prime for 3 years as a contracted human technician for the Dominion Expeditionary Fleet. I repaired navigation arrays, tuned gravity stabilizers, and tried very hard not to attract attention. Humans were rare this far beyond the inner colonies. We were considered curious, fragile creatures. Useful, but unimportant. That changed the night I carried Commander Varex's clan home. The officer's celebration had spilled out of the Skydock Citadel hours earlier. The Dominion had secured another sector, and tradition demanded a feast of iridescent liquors distilled from bioluminescent plants. Most species metabolized it easily. Varex did not. She was tall. Even by Dominion standards, her silver-blue skin patterned with faint glowing sigils that pulsed with her heartbeat. Her crest, a crown of translucent crystalline spines, usually stood proud and sharp. Tonight, it drooped slightly, betraying exhaustion or intoxication. I found her sitting alone on the steps outside the citadel, the mist rain drifting through her shimmering ceremonial cloak. "Commander," I said carefully, "are you well?" Her luminous eyes focused on me with slow precision. "Human," she said, voice low and musical. "You are the engineer who argues with machines. I prefer repairs them, but yes." She attempted to rise. Attempted. Her legs disagreed. She swayed, caught herself on a pillar, and laughed, a sound like chimes in a storm. "The drink of victory," she murmured. "It appears I have been victorious. I should have called a guard. That was protocol." But Dominion officers did not appreciate being seen in weakness, especially by their own soldiers. Rumors could kill careers here. So I offer my arm. "Come on, Commander. Let's get you back to your quarters." Her gaze sharpened for a moment. "You would touch a Dominion commander?" "I'd prefer not to explain to a medical officer why the commander slept on stone steps in ion rain." She considered this, then placed her hand on my arm. Her touch was warm. Too warm. Dominion blood ran hotter than human. We walked slowly through the silver rain, through floating bridgeways and glowing crystal streets. The city of Viridian Prime shimmered around us like a dream, towers of living glass, hovering transport orbs, drifting banners of light. Varex leaned on me more with each step. "You are light," she murmured. "I assure you, Commander, I eat plenty." She made another chiming laugh. "Not your body, your presence. You are not weighed by purpose." "I have purpose," I said. "Do you?" Her voice softened. "Or are you simply here?" I didn't answer, because she was uncomfortably close to the truth. We reached her residence, a spire of faceted crystal overlooking the city's luminous sea. The door recognized her crest pattern and opened silently. Inside, the air was warm and perfumed with floral ozone. I guided her to a low reclining couch. She collapsed onto it, exhaling slowly. "Thank you, human," she said. "Your name?" "Elias." "Elias." She rolled the name in her mouth like tasting it. "Stay a moment. I am still unbalanced." I stayed, because refusing a Dominion commander's request was never wise. Minutes passed. Her glowing markings pulsed slower. Her eyes closed. I thought she'd fallen asleep. Then she said, softly, "Do you know why I drink tonight? Because you won a sector?" "No," her voice sharpened, suddenly sober. "Because tomorrow I must deliver a decision. And that decision will cost lives." I said nothing. Some truths were dangerous to acknowledge. She opened her eyes, looking directly into mine. "You are human. Your species is unclaimed, unbound. You see things without dominion loyalty. I just fix machines, Commander. Lies, she said. You watch everything. You listen. You understand more than you pretend. The air felt heavier. Get some rest, I said carefully. You'll need clarity tomorrow. She smiled faintly. Yes, I will. Soon her breathing slowed. I stood, intending to leave quietly. Her hand shot out, gripping my wrist with surprising strength. Do not go, she whispered. I froze. Just until the storm ends. The silver rain tapped against the crystal walls like whispering fingers. I stayed, seated beside the couch, not daring to move. Eventually, she released my hand. Her breathing deepened. Sleep claimed her. I left before dawn, slipping back to my quarters unnoticed. I thought that would be the end of it. I was wrong. The next morning, the citadel buzzed with tension. Officers in gleaming armor walked quickly, speaking in clipped tones. Something important was happening. I was in the navigation bay recalibrating a stellar lens when 2 Dominion guards appeared. Human Elias, one said. The commander requests your presence. My stomach turned cold. Had I done something wrong? Was assisting her last night considered an insult? A breach of protocol? I followed them through corridors of shifting light, up into the highest tier of the citadel, a place technicians were never invited. The commander's private chamber doors opened. Verex stood inside, fully armored, crest raised proudly, sigils glowing with regal intensity. No trace of last night's weakness remained, except her eyes. They recognized me. The guards left us alone. Silence settled. Elias, she said. Approach. I did. She studied me like a scientist examining an unknown species. Then she spoke. Last night, in my inebriation, I revealed uncertainty. I do not regret it, but I require your discretion. I haven't told anyone, I said. I know. She tilted her head slightly. That is why you are here. My heart pounded. She walked past me to a massive window overlooking the Star Harbor. Dominion warships floated beyond, their hulls carved like blades. Today, she said, the High Command will vote on whether to proceed with the cleansing of the Rithic cluster. I knew that name. Everyone did. The Rithic cluster housed a civilization newly discovered. Peaceful. Technologically young. Cleansing. I said quietly. Extermination, she replied. I stared. They are not yet spacefaring. Dominion doctrine declares unaligned intelligent life a future threat. Her voice carried no pride, only resignation. So last night you drank because you didn't want to face today. Yes. She turned back to me. I am one vote among 12. My vote may decide whether they live or die. I swallowed. And what does this have to do with me? Her gaze locked onto mine. You are human. You come from a species that once feared conquest, yet chose cooperation. You understand empathy without doctrine. I needs perspective. I almost laughed. Commander, I repair navigation arrays. I'm not a philosopher. You are someone who carried a drunk commander through the rain instead of leaving her to save your own safety. That is philosophy in action. I didn't know what to say. She stepped closer. Her voice dropped to a whisper. Tell me, Elias, if a powerful empire feared your species might one day become dangerous, would you accept extermination as mercy? The question cut deep. No, I said. I'd call it cowardice. Her sigils flared softly. And if allowing you to live risked war later? Then you face that future when it comes. You don't kill children for crimes they haven't committed. Silence. Then Verex exhaled, slow, controlled, like someone releasing a weight. You have given me clarity. I felt unease twist in my chest. Commander, whatever you decide. She raised a hand. It is decided. Hours later, the Dominion Council assembled. I was not present, of course, but word travels fast through a nervous fleet. By evening, the news spread. The vote had failed. The Rithik cluster would be granted observation status, not extermination. One vote had shifted. Commander Varric's clan had voted against cleansing. Shock rippled through the ranks. Some officers whispered of disgrace. Others murmured of rebellion against doctrine. But no one dared challenge a decorated commander whose reputation was built in war.
I thought that was the end.
Again, I was wrong. That night, there was a knock on my quarters door. I opened it. Commander Varric stood there, without armor, without cloak. Just simple robes of soft luminescent fabric. Her crest relaxed. Her eyes calm. I owe you an explanation, she said. I stepped aside. She entered, studying the small, cluttered room. Human tools, printed books, coffee cups. This, she said, is honest living. I get by. She turned to me. When I was young, I believed Dominion doctrine was order. Necessary. Sacred. But over years of conquest, I began to wonder if we were protecting the galaxy or merely fearing it. She paused. Last night I was afraid. Afraid that defying doctrine would mean exile, execution, or worse, regret. I said nothing. She looked directly into my eyes. And this morning, you told me that killing children for future crimes is cowardice. No Dominion scholar ever dared speak so plainly. Her voice softened. I cast my vote against extermination. My breath caught. Then you'll face consequences. Yes, she said. Already whispers grow, but I will endure them. She stepped closer. However, she added, the council will remove me from command soon.
I will be reassigned.
Isolated. Watched. I'm sorry. She shook her head. Do not be. This path is mine. Then she said the words that truly shocked me. Come with me. I blinked.
What?
When I am reassigned, I will require a technical advisor. Someone who understands machines and conscience. The Dominion will allow a human subordinate. It appears harmless to them. You want me to leave? Yes, she said simply. To help me build something different within this empire. Quietly. Patiently. I laughed nervously. Commander, I'm nobody. You are Elias, she said. The man who carried a commander through silver rain. The man who spoke truth without fear. The room felt too small for the moment. Think carefully, she added. Your life will change. You may never return home. I looked at my tools. My bed. My small human existence on a distant world that never quite felt like mine. Then I looked at her, an alien commander who had defied an empire because of a conversation born from drunken weakness and shared silence. All right, I said. I'll come. Her eyes brightened. Not with triumph. With something gentler. Then tomorrow we begin. Years later, historians would say that subtle fractures in Dominion doctrine began with Commander Varric's unexpected vote. That later reforms, alliances, and eventual peace initiatives trace their roots to that moment. They would never record the true reason. They would never note the human technician who carried her home through silver rain. But sometimes history turns not on fleets and wars, but on kindness offered in the dark, and words spoken the morning after. 3 months later, the silver rain of Viridian Prime finally ceased. Elias noticed it first because silence replaced the gentle chiming on crystal roofs. The sky remained violet, but the air no longer shimmered with static mist. The city looked strangely bare without its ever-falling light. He stood on the observation balcony of the newly assigned Dominion outpost on the edge of civilized space. It was smaller than the Citadel, rougher around the edges, designed more for listening than conquering. Commander Varric Tlan joined him, hands clasped behind her back. Her crest stood proud again, though now streaked with thin golden lines, marks of reassignment. Not disgrace, but distance. A commander without a fleet. A watcher of borders. "You missed the rain," she said. "I didn't realize it until it stopped," Elias replied. Varric inclined her head. "Change always reveals what we took for granted." Below them, construction drones assembled new communication arrays, machines Elias had designed himself. Not weapons, not warships, but long-range transmitters capable of reaching the Rithik cluster, the young civilization that had been spared extinction. "They sent another message today," Elias said. Their linguists finally decoded Dominion trade tongue. "They want to know if the stars are friendly." Varric looked toward the distant horizon where artificial suns glowed above docking rings. "What did you answer?" she asked. Elias smiled. "I told them the truth. Some stars are dangerous.
Some are kind.
But there are people trying to make the galaxy better." Varric's sigils pulsed softly, a sign of quiet emotion. "You understand," she said. "Empires change slowly, but stories travel faster." A breeze rolled across the balcony. For the first time since arriving on Viridian Prime, Elias felt real wind instead of charged mist. It carried the scent of mineral dust and distant sea. He glanced sideways at her. "Do you ever regret it?" he asked. "The vote?" Varric considered. "I regret only that I did not question sooner. I commanded fleets. I erased worlds that history will never name. That weight remains." Elias said nothing. Some burdens could not be lifted, only carried differently. Varric turned toward him fully. "But because of one night," she continued, "because a human refused to walk past a fallen commander in a rain, the Dominion hesitated for the first time in 10,000 cycles." She raised a hand, resting it lightly on his shoulder, a gesture of respect among her kind. "That hesitation will grow," she said. "Others will question. One day, conquest will no longer be doctrine." Elias looked out at the stars. "So we keep building transmitters," he said, "and telling younger civilizations they're not alone." "Yes," Varric replied. "We become the quiet change." A tone chimed from Elias's wrist console. An incoming signal. He opened it. Text shimmered in alien script, then auto-translated into human language. "We see your stars. We hear your voice. We will not fear the dark." Elias let out a slow breath. "They answered," he whispered. Varric looked up at the sky. Now clear, no rain, no mist, only endless stars. "Then," she said, "the galaxy has begun to listen." They stood together in silence as dawn light climbed over Viridian Prime's crystal towers. The first sunlight without silver rain refracted into 1,000 colors, warmer, softer, alive. Not the light of conquest, but the light of a future rewritten.